Commander Tak sat in his big chair on the bridge of his spaceship. His blue skin looked pale under the lights. He had 6 eyes that blinked one after another as he read reports from his crew. The ship floated quietly above Earth. Humans could not see the ship because it was hidden by special technology. At least that is what Tak believed. "Sir, we have the young ones from species 427b safely in our hold," said Science Officer Vex. Her long finger-like tentacles moved quickly over the control panel. "We took them from the place they call summer camp, just as planned." Tak nodded, pleased with the news. His people, the Galactic Confederation, had been watching Earth for many years. They made lists of all the plants and animals and sometimes took samples back to study. Humans were still new to space travel. The Confederation thought of them as level 2, smart enough to know about space but not able to travel far into it. "Good work," Tak said. "How many did we get?" 12 young humans, sir. They are between 8 and 12 years old in Earth counting. Are they safely locked away? We do not want trouble like we had on Zorblat. All the young ones are asleep in the holding area, Vex explained. Humans call their young ones children. We took this group from a forest area far from cities. No adults were watching them closely. No one will miss them for about 12 Earth hours. Lieutenant Drav, who handled messages, suddenly sat up straight. His gray skin turned purple, which meant he was scared or surprised. "Commander, we are getting a message sent directly to us." Tak's eyes opened wide. "That cannot be. Our hiding technology is too good for level 2 people to see through. The message is on all channels, sir, and it is in our language." Tak felt cold. "Show me." The main screen turned on. The face that appeared made several crew members gasp. It was a human man with black hair and sharp, calm eyes. He wore a plain black outfit with no badges or marks. "This is Agent Han of Earth Defense Initiative," the human said without greeting. "You have taken 12 of our children. Return them right away and leave our solar system. You have 1 Earth hour to do this." Tak tried to stay calm. "This is Commander Tak of the Galactic Confederation. We are taking samples as allowed by Galactic Code 7293. Your kind is level 2 and does not have the technology to—" The human called Han cut him off. "Commander, you have made a mistake about Earth's level. We will show you what we can really do if the children are not returned, safe and well, within the hour. Han out." The screen went black. Tak turned to his safety chief. "Is this some kind of trick? How could they see us?" Before anyone could answer, alarms started to ring. Lieutenant Drav's voice shook as he spoke. "Sir, many objects are coming up from Earth. They are moving faster than should be possible." Tak stared at the map screen in shock. Dozens of small ships were coming straight toward them. "This cannot be," he whispered. Officer Vex's tentacles shook as she looked at the new information. "Commander, these ships are not using any engine type we know. They are just canceling gravity. This technology is hundreds of years beyond level 2. On the map screen, the Earth ships made a perfect ball around Tak's ship. They stayed exactly the same distance from each other with strange precision. "Sir," Lieutenant Drav said, voice shaking, "we are getting another message." A different human appeared on screen, a woman with straight black hair pulled back tightly. Her outfit was like Han's but with silver lines on the shoulders. "This is Colonel Jin of the Earth Defense Initiative. Your ship is now trapped in our time distortion field. If you try to use engines, weapons, or send messages, your ship will break apart at the molecule level. We know about Galactic Confederation rules and your so-called sampling rights, but you have made a terrible mistake." Tak tried to look dignified despite his growing fear. "Colonel, we are following the rules for—" "You took children," Jin said, her voice staying even but somehow becoming more scary because of it. "This crosses a line that no species should ever cross with humanity. The samples will be returned unharmed after—" "They are not samples," Jin cut in again. "They are our children. Maybe you do not know what that means to humans." A second screen appeared next to Jin's face. It showed scenes from Earth history, adults running into burning buildings to save children, soldiers jumping on bombs to protect young ones, parents lifting cars to free trapped children. Humans have a special response about our young ones, Jin continued. Our normal thinking stops working when they need protection. Peace talks, technology secrets, even saving ourselves, all become unimportant when our children are in danger. Commander Tak began to feel real alarm. The Confederation had met protective species before, but something in the human's voice suggested a level of response beyond normal behavior. We did not know this was so important to you, Tak said carefully. This is not just culture, Commander. It is in our DNA. Now you have 42 minutes left to return the children. Agent Han will come to your ship to make sure they are safely returned. The screen changed to show one of the small Earth ships breaking away from the others and coming closer. It moved with impossible grace, as if it did not have to follow normal rules of space. Sir, Safety Chief Ord whispered. We should get ready to defend ourselves. Tak shook his head. No. I am starting to think that would be very unwise. The ship's sensors made a noise, showing someone had entered the ship without permission. Somehow the human ship had gone through their shields and docking systems without setting off any alarms. Safety teams to docking area 3, Ord shouted. Titio Ban, ship's speaker system turned on, but it was not one of their crew speaking. This is Agent Han. I am already on your ship. Your safety teams are temporarily knocked out. They will wake up fine. I am going to the holding area. Do not try to stop me. Tak stared at his crew in disbelief. The human had entered their most advanced ship as easily as walking through an open door. Commander, Science Officer Vex said quietly, I think we have made a very big mistake. The bridge crew of the spaceship watched in shock as their screens showed Agent Han moving through their ship. The human did not have any weapon they could see, yet any crew member who tried to stop him simply fell to the floor, as if they had fallen asleep instantly. How is he doing that? Tak asked, turning to Science Officer Vex. Vex moved her tentacles over her control panel very fast. I do not know, Commander. I can see small gravity changes around him, but nothing that explains how he is making our crew fall without touching them. On the screen, Han reached the room where the children were kept in sleep pods. He put his hand on the control panel. Even though the aliens had very strong locks on their systems, the panel gave Han access right away. Sir, Lieutenant Drav said, the human is waking up the children. The screen showed Han helping the confused children out of the pods. He spoke to them softly, his manner completely different from the cold way he had talked earlier. The children gathered around him. Some were crying. Others looked around with fear and wonder at the strange place. Commander Tak. Han's voice came through the ship's speakers. Please come to the holding room. Come alone. Tak's second heart beat fast with worry. This could be a trap. Sir, Vex said, if he wanted to hurt us, I think he could have done it already. Tak walked down to the holding room. When he entered, he found Han sitting on the floor with the children around him. The human had somehow found food and water for them. Commander, Han said, standing up smoothly. The children watched Tak with big eyes. Some hid behind Han. Your kind keeps surprising me, Tak said. How did you find our ship? How did you get on board? You should not have this technology. Han smiled a little. Commander, the Galactic Confederation's information about Earth is very old and wrong. We have known about your watching posts since you put them up in the 1950s. That cannot be. We have been listening to your messages, watching your technology grow. What we let you see, Han corrected. Humans decided long ago to show a careful picture to visitors from space. We have been traveling in space much longer than you think. But why hide this? Han looked back at the children. A young girl named Sun, who seemed to be the oldest, was watching as some of the younger ones looked at a glowing wall panel. We have seen how the Confederation treats advanced species, the resources they demand, the political problems. We prefer to stay simple. Tak's mind raced, thinking again about years of watching Earth. Then the old rocket engines, the wasteful energy systems, all carefully kept up as a show, Han confirmed. We have people in several space civilizations you have never met. We know much more about the Confederation than you know about us." One of the younger boys pulled at Han's sleeve and whispered something. Han nodded to comfort him before turning back to Tak. "What matters now is that you understand one main fact about humans, Commander. We will go to extreme lengths to protect our children. What you have seen today is gentle compared to what we could do if needed." Tak felt a shiver run through his body. "Are you threatening the Confederation?" "No," Han replied calmly. "I am explaining why we have stayed hidden. We have no interest in fighting, Commander. We simply want to raise our young in peace." "Is that why you are showing yourselves now, because we took your children?" Han's face hardened slightly. "Some lines should never be crossed. Taking children is one of them. Think of this as a wake-up call." One of the smaller children, a girl, with short black hair, stepped out from behind Han. She looked at Tak with less fear than the others. "Why did you take us?" she asked in a small but clear voice. Tak was surprised by her question. In his culture, specimens did not ask questions of those studying them. Han put his hand gently on the girl's shoulder. "Min, the commander and his people do not understand about children the way we do." "But everyone knows you don't take kids," Min said simply. Tak felt strange. He had never felt this feeling before when dealing with test subjects. Was this what humans called shame? "Min is right," Han said to Tak. "The protection of young ones is one of the most universal concepts among intelligent species. The fact that the Confederation does not recognize this is troubling." The ship's communication system suddenly came on. Colonel Jin's voice filled the room. "Agent Han, sensors show multiple Confederation vessels changing course toward your location. Time is short." "Understood," Han replied. He looked at Tak. "It seems your people are concerned about your situation. That gives us two options. Show them exactly what Earth is capable of or resolve this peacefully." "What do you want from us?" Tak asked. "First, safe return of the children," Han said. "Second, acknowledgement that Earth is not what you thought. Third, a promise that no more human children will be taken for study." Min was still looking at Tak. "Are there kids on your planet?" she asked. Tak nodded slowly. "Yes, we call them hatchlings." "Would you be mad if someone took them?" Tak had never thought about it that way. I suppose I would." "Then you understand," Han said quietly. "At least a little." Tak looked at the children, then at Han. "I will speak to my leaders, but I believe they will agree to your terms." "Good," Han said, "because I was not exaggerating about Earth's capabilities, Commander." As if to prove his point, the ship suddenly shook slightly. "What was that?" Tak asked in alarm. "Colonel Jin just disabled your main engine with a focused gravitational pulse," Han explained. "Your ship is now unable to leave Earth orbit without our help. Consider it insurance for good behavior." Tak stared in disbelief. "That technology, it should be impossible." Han smiled. "From your perspective, perhaps. From ours, it's fairly basic." The boy who had whispered to Han earlier now moved closer to Tak, studying him with open curiosity. "Do you have 6 eyes because you come from a dark planet?" the boy asked. Han laughed softly. "June, now is probably not the time for questions." "But I want to know," June insisted. "My dad says understanding aliens is important." "Your dad is wise," Han said. "But first we need to get everyone home safely." Tak could see that despite their fear, the children were already recovering. They were curious, resilient. Perhaps this was why humans protected them so fiercely, not just as offspring, but as the future of their kind. "We will return to Earth now," Han announced. "Commander Tak will come with us to ensure safe passage. His ship can follow under Colonel Jin's escort." Tak knew he had no real choice. "Agreed." As they prepared to leave, Min looked back at Tak once more. "Next time," she said with surprising wisdom for one so young, "just ask if you want to learn about us. Taking people is mean." Out of the mouth of a child came the simplest truth that the Galactic Confederation, with all its advanced science, had somehow missed. Tak nodded solemnly. I will remember that. Agent Han led the children and Commander Tak to a small room near the holding area. This room had a round table and several chairs. Tak noticed that the chairs were the right size for both humans and his own kind. This seemed strange since humans should not have known what his species looked like before today. Please sit down, Commander, Han said. We have things to discuss before we return to Earth. Tak sat across from Han. The children gathered at one end of the table, where June and Min handed out small packets of food that Han had given them. Sun, the oldest girl, kept a watchful eye on the younger ones. Your ship will remain here disabled but safe, Han explained. Colonel Jin will ensure no harm comes to your crew. We will take the children back in my vessel and you will come with us. As a prisoner? Tak asked. Han shook his head. As a diplomat. This is a chance for both our peoples to learn from a mistake, rather than start a conflict. Tak nodded slowly. I still do not understand how you hid your true level of technology from us for so long. Our observers have been watching Earth for decades. Han smiled. Your observers saw what we wanted them to see. We have been aware of the Galactic Confederation since your first probes entered our solar system. We decided to study you while you thought you were studying us. But why? History, Han said simply. Humans have a long history of more advanced civilizations meeting less advanced ones. It rarely ends well for the less advanced group. We decided it would be safer to appear primitive until we understood the intentions of any visitors. One of the children, a quiet boy with curious eyes, spoke up suddenly. Like when Europeans came to America and hurt the native people. Han nodded. Exactly, Day. Earth has many such examples in our history. Tak felt confused. But the Confederation is peaceful. We only observe and study. Taking children without permission is not peaceful, Min said firmly. Han gave Min an approving look. Min is right. And that brings us to why this incident has forced us to reveal ourselves. You crossed a line that humanity cannot tolerate. I do not understand why these young ones are so important, Tak admitted. In the Confederation, we value all life, but specimens for study are chosen based on scientific need. Han's expression hardened. That is the fundamental difference between us, Commander. Humans do not see any of our kind as specimens, especially not our children. May I explain something to you about humans? Sun asked, her voice serious despite her young age. Tak turned to the girl, surprised. Yes, you may. Humans are different from many species because our children are helpless for many years, Sun explained. Our babies cannot walk or feed themselves. Our young cannot survive alone. Because of this, we evolved very strong protective feelings for children. Tak was amazed at the child's clear explanation. This is why Agent Han said protection of young ones is in your DNA? Yes, Sun nodded. Our strongest instinct is to protect our children. When we see a child in danger, even adults who are not the parents will risk their lives to save them. It is more than just biology, Han added. It is the core of our culture, our laws, our moral code. Children represent innocence and potential. The future, Jun said with a smile. Yes, the future, Han agreed. Tak thought about this. In my species, young ones are more independent from birth. Perhaps this is why we do not understand your reaction. Yet many species across the galaxy share similar protective instincts, Han said. The Confederation has simply chosen to ignore these feelings in favor of scientific progress. Are there many other aliens? Day asked, his eyes wide with wonder. Han nodded. Yes, Day. The galaxy is full of different intelligent species. Are they all blue with 6 eyes like him? Another child asked, pointing at Tak. No, Bin, Han laughed. They come in all shapes and sizes. Will we remember this? Jun asked suddenly. Or will you make us forget? Tak was surprised by the question. So the children knew that their memories might be altered. Han looked serious. We will need to adjust your memories of this event. Your parents and the other adults are not ready to know about aliens yet. But why? Min protested. We could help prepare everyone. It is not your burden to carry, Han said gently. But I promise you this. The memory adjustment will be gentle. This will feel like a dream to you. Not completely gone, but not fully clear either. Sun crossed her arms. I want to remember. Han sighed. I understand, son. But Earth is not ready for full disclosure yet. We have a careful plan for introducing humanity to the wider galactic community. This incident has accelerated our timeline, but we still need to proceed with caution. The ship suddenly shook slightly. What was that? Tak asked in alarm. Han touched a small device on his wrist. Colonel Jin reports that 3 more Confederation ships have entered Earth orbit. They are demanding communication with your vessel. Tak felt worried. My superiors will not understand what has happened. They may see this as an act of aggression. Then you must help them understand, Han said firmly. You have seen firsthand what we are capable of. If the Confederation forces our hand, we will defend ourselves and we will win. Min stood up and walked over to Tak. To everyone's surprise, she put her small hand on his arm. Please don't let there be a fight, she said. Fighting is stupid. Just say sorry for taking us and promise not to do it again. Tak looked down at the child's hand on his blue skin. Such a simple touch, yet it carried great meaning. In that moment, he understood something profound about humans that all the Confederation studies had missed. I will speak to my leaders, Tak promised. I will tell them the truth about Earth and its people. And what truth is that? Han asked. Tak looked around at the children, then back to Han. That humanity appears simple on the surface, but holds great depth. That your technological advancement is matched by your emotional development, and that your love for your young ones makes you both vulnerable and undefeatable. Han nodded, satisfied. That is a good beginning. Will I see Earth? Tak asked. Your actual world, not just orbit. Yes, Han said. We will take you to a secure facility. There you will meet with our leaders and begin the process of formal contact between Earth and the Confederation. June's eyes lit up. Can he come to our school? I want to show my class a real alien. The adults laughed, breaking the tension in the room. Perhaps someday, Han said, ruffling June's hair. But first we have much work to do. As they prepared to board Han's ship, Tak realized that this day would change the course of Confederation history. The humans had been watching, learning, and preparing for this moment for longer than anyone had suspected. And it had all begun because someone made the mistake of taking their children. Han's ship was unlike anything Tak had ever seen. From the outside, it looked like a simple black oval with no visible engines or windows. But inside, it was spacious and filled with soft light that seemed to come from nowhere. There were no buttons, screens, or control panels that Tak could see. The children settled into comfortable seats that formed out of the floor as they approached. Tak watched in amazement as Han simply waved his hand in the air, and the ship hummed to life. How do you control it? Tak asked. Han touched a small metal circle on his temple. Mind link. The ship responds to my thoughts. Such technology is beyond even the most advanced Confederation systems, Tak admitted. We've had a long time to develop, Han said as the ship smoothly detached from the alien vessel. Through a suddenly clear wall, Tak could see the Earth ships surrounding his own. They were keeping a safe distance but were clearly ready to act if needed. What will happen to my crew? Tak asked. They will remain where they are until our meeting with Earth's leaders is complete, Han said. If all goes well, you and your crew will be allowed to leave with a message for your Confederation. The ship moved away from the alien vessel, heading toward Earth. Tak looked out at the blue planet. He had studied it for years through data and images, but seeing it directly was different. It looked peaceful, beautiful. It's pretty, isn't it? Min said, coming to stand beside Tak. That's our home. Yes, it is beautiful, Tak agreed. In the Confederation records, it is listed simply as Planet 427, but you call it Earth. It means dirt, June said with a laugh. Our planet is named after dirt. Many planets are named for simple things in their native languages, Han explained. Names have power, but their meaning is often humble. As they approached Earth, Tak noticed something strange. There were structures in orbit that had never appeared in any Confederation observation data. Large stations, satellites, and what looked like defense platforms dotted the space around the planet. How did you hide all of this from our sensors? Tak asked in wonder. Selective visibility technology, Han replied. We can choose what energy signatures are visible to outside observers. Sun joined them at the window. Is your planet like Earth? She asked Tak. No, Tak said. My world has 2 suns and purple oceans. The land is mostly desert. That sounds amazing, Sun said with genuine interest. I want to see it someday. Perhaps you will, Han said, if our worlds can establish proper relations. The ship began to enter Earth's atmosphere. Tak expected to feel the usual vibration and heat of atmospheric entry, but there was none. The ship descended as smoothly as if it were still in space. We're going to a secure facility in a place called New Zealand, Han explained. It's isolated enough for privacy but connected enough for our leaders to gather quickly. Will we get to go home soon? Day asked, his voice small and tired. Yes, Han assured him. After we land, a medical team will check you all, and then you'll be returned to your families. But they won't know what really happened, Min said, sounding disappointed. It's for the best, Han said gently. The world isn't ready yet. When will it be ready? Jun asked. Han smiled. Sooner than we planned, thanks to Commander Tak's visit. The ship descended through clouds, and Tak saw green mountains and blue water below. The ship slowed and approached a complex of white buildings, nestled between mountains and ocean. Welcome to Earth, Commander, Han said as the ship landed without a sound on a circular pad. When they exited the ship, Tak noticed that the air smelled different from the processed air on his vessel. It was rich with scents he couldn't identify. The gravity felt slightly stronger than he was used to, but not uncomfortable. People in uniforms similar to Han's approached. They guided the children toward one building while Han led Tak toward another. The children will be cared for, Han assured Tak, seeing his glance toward the departing group. They'll be home by nightfall. They have been unexpectedly educational, Tak said. I understand now why taking them caused such alarm. Han nodded. Children are our most precious resource, not just as offspring but as unique minds with fresh perspectives. They entered a large room where several humans were seated around a circular table. Tak recognized Colonel Jin from the earlier transmission. Next to her sat an older human with gray hair and lines on his face. Commander Tak, Han said formally. This is Admiral Kang, head of the Earth Defense Initiative. Admiral Kang stood. He was tall, with a straight back and watchful eyes. Commander, we have much to discuss. The meeting lasted for hours. Tak explained the Confederation's practices and why Earth had been classified as Level 2. Admiral Kang and Colonel Jin explained Earth's true capabilities and why they had chosen to hide them. You must understand, Admiral Kang said, that humans have a troubled history. When we first developed space travel, we were still fighting among ourselves. We decided it would be safer for everyone if we appeared less advanced until we had resolved our own conflicts. And have you resolved them? Tak asked. Mostly, Colonel Jin said. Enough to begin careful engagement with the wider galaxy. We've had unofficial contact with several non-Confederation species for decades. The Dralids? Tak asked in surprise. The Move-In Collective? Admiral Kang nodded. Among others, they were more open to equal exchange than the Confederation, which has a history of, let's say, unbalanced relationships with developing worlds. Tak couldn't deny this. The Confederation often took more than it gave when dealing with less advanced planets. What happens now? Tak asked. That depends on your report to your superiors, Admiral Kang said. We propose a formal recognition of Earth as a Level 5 civilization, with all the protections and responsibilities that entails. Level 5? Tak was shocked. Even the founding species of the Confederation were only Level 4. Our assessment of our own development, Colonel Jin explained. Based on the classification system we've observed the Confederation using. But this would mean that we join as equals, not as subjects, Admiral Kang finished. Yes, Tak thought for a long moment. The Confederation Council will resist. They have never admitted a new species directly to level A5 status. Then perhaps it's time for change, Han suggested. We don't wish for conflict, Commander, but we won't accept less than we deserve. Before Tak could respond, a young officer entered the room and whispered something to Admiral Kang. It seems the children are asking for you, Commander, Admiral Kang said with surprise, before their memory adjustment. For me? Tak was confused. They want to say goodbye, the officer explained. Tak looked at Han, who nodded permission. Following the officer, Tak entered another room where the children were gathered. They had been given clean clothes and food. They looked tired but no longer afraid. Commander Tak, Jun called out with a wave. We wanted to see you before we forget. Min approached and held out a piece of paper. I made this for you. Tak took it carefully. On it was a simple drawing of a blue figure with 6 eyes standing next to several small human figures. Above it were strange symbols that Tak assumed was human writing. What does it say? He asked. Friends from far away, Min translated. So you remember us even if we don't remember you. Tak felt something strange in his chest. Was this what humans called emotion? Thank you, he said. I will keep this. Will you come back to visit Earth? Sun asked. I hope so, Tak said. If your leaders and mine can make peace. They will, Jun said confidently. Adults always work things out if kids ask them to. Tak wished he shared the child's optimism. But looking at their faces, he understood why humans would fight so fiercely to protect them. They were not just young ones. They were hope and possibility given form. Goodbye, Commander, the children said as Tak turned to leave. Don't forget, us. I won't, Tak promised. And he knew it was true. He would never forget the day that taking human children had changed everything. 3 months had passed since the day Commander Tak's ship had taken the human children. Today, Tak stood nervously in a grand hall on Rigel Prime, the main meeting place for all Confederation species. He wore his formal uniform with new badges that marked him as Earth's first official contact. The hall was filled with beings from 200 different worlds. Many had traveled great distances to witness this historic event. Earth joining the Galactic Confederation as a level 5 civilization. This had never happened before. Usually new planets joined at level 1 or 2 and took centuries to rise higher. Nervous, Commander? A familiar voice asked. Tak turned to see Agent Han walking toward him. Han wore formal Earth clothes, a black suit with silver and blue lines that represented Earth's oceans and sky. Beside him walked Colonel Jin and Admiral Kang. Yes, a little nervous, Tak admitted. Many Confederation leaders still do not believe my report about Earth's true abilities. Han smiled. They will understand soon enough. We have prepared some demonstrations that should remove all doubt. Admiral Kang, whose serious face still made Tak slightly uncomfortable, nodded in agreement. After today, there will be no question about Earth's place in the galaxy. The large doors at the end of the hall opened. Tak was surprised to see a small figure walking quickly toward them. It was Jun, wearing a smaller version of the formal Earth clothes. His hair was neatly combed and he walked with careful dignity, trying hard to look serious. The council is ready for us, Jun announced importantly. Jun, Tak could not hide his shock. You remember me? I thought all the children's memories were adjusted. Jun smiled proudly. I'm special. My parents work for Earth Defense. When they found out I made friends with an alien, they got permission for me to keep my memories. Jun has been appointed junior ambassador to the Confederation, Han explained. The first of many young humans who will learn about life beyond Earth. But I thought Earth wasn't ready to tell everyone about aliens, Tak said, confused. All plans must adapt to changing situations, Admiral Kang said. Your visit accelerated our timeline. We have begun a careful program to introduce humanity to the wider galaxy. Jun stepped forward and held out his hand to Tak. just as he had been taught. "It's good to see you again, Commander Tak." Tak carefully shook the small human hand. "It is good to see you too, Jun. How are the other children?" "They're okay," Jun said. "They think it was all a dream about being taken by aliens. Sometimes Sun draws pictures of a blue man with 6 eyes, but she doesn't know why." Tak felt both, sad and relieved. He still carried Min's drawing with him everywhere he went. "What about your ship and crew?" Jun asked. "Did they get in trouble?" "No," Tak said. "Thanks to Admiral Kang speaking to our leaders, my crew was praised for making first contact with Earth, though we have strict new rules about taking samples from any planet now." "Good," Jun said firmly. "Taking kids is wrong." The sound of chimes filled the hall, calling everyone to the main chamber for the ceremony. "It's time," Admiral Kang said. "Remember the plan, Jun?" "I remember," Jun said, standing up straighter. "I'll make Earth proud." They walked into the main chamber where the Confederation Council sat in tall chairs around a central platform. The council members represented the oldest and most advanced species in the known galaxy. Their faces showed doubt and curiosity as the Earth delegation entered. High Counselor Ziv, a tall being with silver skin and eyes that changed color with his mood, spoke first. "We gather today to consider the application of Planet 427, known to its people as Earth, for Level 5 status in the Galactic Confederation." His eyes turned a doubting purple. "This request is unusual. No world has ever joined at Level 5 without centuries of supervised development. Commander Tak's report claims Earth has hidden its true development from us. We require proof." Admiral Kang stepped forward. "High Counselor, we understand your doubts. Earth has indeed hidden its true nature, for reasons we believe were wise. We are prepared to demonstrate our level of advancement today." Kang nodded to Colonel Jin, who touched a small device on her wrist. Suddenly, the air above the central platform shimmered. A perfect hologram of the solar system appeared, showing Earth and its neighbors in beautiful detail. "Impressive, but holographic technology is only level 3, one council member said dismissively. Jin smiled slightly and touched her device again. The hologram changed, expanding to show not just images but real-time data flows between Earth and hidden bases throughout the solar system. Then it expanded further, revealing monitoring stations in nearby star systems that the Confederation had never detected. The council members murmured in surprise. "This is our current sphere of observation," Jin explained. "We've been monitoring Confederation activities for over 70 years. "Impossible," another counselor said. "Our cloaking technology is based on phase shift principles that we solved centuries ago," Han finished politely. "What else would you like to see? Perhaps our gravity manipulation technology, or our advances in consciousness transfer?" The council chamber grew quiet as the implications became clear. Earth had not just matched Confederation technology, in many ways they had surpassed it. Then, just as the tension seemed greatest, Jun stepped forward. "Excuse me," he said in a clear voice that carried throughout the chamber. "May I speak?" High Counselor Ziv looked surprised but nodded. "The Earthchild may speak." Jun took a deep breath. "I'm Jun. I'm 8 years old. I was one of the children taken from Earth by Commander Tak's ship." A shocked murmur ran through the crowd. "I'm not here to make you feel bad about that, Jun." Continued. "Commander Tak has become my friend. He didn't understand about human children before, but he does now." Jun looked around at the council members. "My teachers say that's what growing up means. Learning from mistakes and becoming better. Earth made mistakes too. We fought wars. We hurt our planet. But we learned and got better." He pointed to the hologram still floating above. "All that fancy technology isn't why Earth should be level 5. We should be level 5 because we understand that the most important thing in the galaxy isn't power or being the best. It's taking care of each other. It's protecting children and helping other worlds grow." The chamber was silent as the simple wisdom of a child echoed through the space. "Hi." Counselor Ziv's eyes had turned a thoughtful blue. "Young human, Your words have wisdom that many adults forget. Perhaps there is much the Confederation can learn from Earth after all. Admiral Kang stepped forward again. We come not to challenge the Confederation, but to strengthen it. Earth offers its technology, its resources, and its unique perspective as partners. The Council talked among themselves for several minutes. Finally, High Counselor Ziv stood. The Council votes to accept Earth as a Level 5 member of the Galactic Confederation, with all rights and responsibilities thereof. His eyes turned a warm golden color. And we thank Junior Ambassador Jun for reminding us of truths we should never forget. Jun beamed with pride as the chamber filled with the sound of different species applauding in their various ways. Later, as the formal celebrations began, Tak found Jun standing alone by a window, looking out at the stars. You did well today, Jun, Tak said. Jun smiled. Thanks. Do you think the other kids would be proud if they remembered? Yes, Tak said, reaching into his pocket to touch Min's drawing. I believe they would be very proud. Maybe someday they can remember, Jun said hopefully, when everyone on Earth knows about aliens. Maybe, Tak agreed. Until then, you will remember for them. Jun nodded seriously. I promise, and I'll make sure no one ever takes kids from any planet ever again. Looking at the determination in the small human's eyes, Tak had no doubt that Jun would keep his word. In that moment, he truly understood why humanity deserved its place among the stars. It had all started with a terrible mistake, taking human children, but it had ended with the greatest lesson the Confederation had learned in centuries. Some lines should never be crossed, but when bridges are built instead, the entire galaxy becomes brighter.